Well, after a couple weeks off, I'm back at it, and there's a lot of stories this week, mostly in the transportation space. Chinese electric car manufacturer NIO and Shell have created a strategic partnership to collaborate on charging and battery swap facilities in China and Europe. The parties will construct and operate 100 charging and swapping facilities in China by 2025, and also develop pilot stations in Europe starting next year. What does Shell get out of it? Well, they tap into NIO's expertise and their existing broad swapping network, and NIO gets a chance to expand into Europe. NIO is already selling vehicles in Norway, and it plans battery swap stations there. Sticking with charging, ABB has ordered about $5.3 million worth of hydrogen fuel cell systems from British partner AFC Energy to power 200 kilowatt EV fast charging stations. These fuel cell systems are being delivered from 2023 on. And ABB and AFC Energy have formed a partnership, which they did late last year, to develop an off-grid fuel cell-driven charging solution for fast charging in areas with limited grid access. These systems can run on either hydrogen or ammonia, and they'll be located within containers about the size of a 10-foot shipping container. Back to Chinese vehicle OEMs, Chinese electric car manufacturer Xpeng launched its first electric SUV in Norway in late 2020, then added its P7 electric sedan in October of this year. It's now announced plans on CNBC to roll out in Sweden, Denmark, and Netherlands next year, and the company eventually plans to sell half of its vehicles outside of China. Dates for the rest of Europe and North America are still uncertain, but American and European OEMs should certainly be watchful with this development and the other Chinese OEMs eyeing the market. Moving to batteries, Mercedes-Benz and Stellantis are investing an unknown amount in solid-state battery cell developer Factorial Energy. Both auto OEMs have also agreed to cooperate on development with Factorial. Mercedes wants to launch a small series of solid-state batteries by the end of 2026. Factorial already had announced a development agreement undisclosed amount of strategic investment with Hyundai and Kia at the end of October. And solid-state batteries now look to be coming pretty soon into the marketplace within the next few years. Between OEM investments in solid power and QuantumScape, one of these horses looks likely to cross the line. The value will be in higher density batteries with longer ranges and more stable chemistries. That will disadvantage other battery companies and the OEMs relying on them, and also put hydrogen fuel cells further out of reach in the passenger vehicle and short-haul markets, as vehicles will have to carry less weight per mile traveled, one of the main advantages of hydrogen today. Sticking with batteries, Bloomberg New Energy Finance indicates that lithium-ion battery pack prices, which were at about $1,200 per kilowatt hour in 2010, have now fallen 89% in real terms to $132 per kilowatt hour this year, down 6% even from last year's $140 per kWh. Unfortunately, rising commodity prices have created some price pressures for the second half of 2021. These prices are averages across multiple battery end uses, including different EVs, buses, and stationary storage. And for EV battery packs, prices were about $118 per kilowatt hour on a volume-weighted average basis in 2021, while at the cell level, 2021 saw $97 per kWh. Battery pack prices, not surprisingly, were cheapest in China at $111 per kilowatt hour, with packs in the US and Europe costing 40% and 60% more respectively, a result of less mature markets, diverse applications, and lower overall volumes. One other thing BNEF noted, a driver which is the move away from expensive cobalt to lithium iron phosphate. Lithium iron phosphate, LiFeP cells, are about 30% cheaper, but they still use lithium, whose costs have risen in recent months. Carbon capture is the next thing we're going to talk about. The IEA reports that the global pipeline of carbon capture and storage projects is growing, and there are signs that many may actually come to fruition. The IEA says there are now over 100 projects announced this year alone, with the numbers actually likely to go eventually commercial. Put in perspective, under 3 million tons of CO2 capture capacity has been added annually in recent years, with total global capacity cumulatively around 40 million tons. The IEA indicates about 1.6 billion tons must be achieved by 2030 in its roadmap that would get the world to net zero global emissions by 2050. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.